Your sole purpose in life should not be to own the land, but to control the land. And boy, I tell you what, that one sentence hit me like a brick in the forehead. And I immediately started going around the neighborhoods looking at this land that nobody's doing anything with.
We're up and at 'em this morning, 7:30 with Greg. Tell everyone hello, Greg.
Hey, how y'all doing?
I believe we're gonna get on this four-wheeler.
Yep, we're gonna go move the cattle here. It's a pretty Sunday morning and the cows are ready to go.
Hey, they don't stop for church, do they?
No, they don't. Then they come to the farm and so you work Sundays? I'm like, well, yeah, the cows eat on Sundays. No, we don't work. We do as little as possible on Sunday. We give people the day off, but you know, the cattle, you know, if you're a farmer, they got to be moved.
They're still gonna eat and drink, don't they?
That's right.
And they're not gonna move them just once. They're gonna move them 4 times today.
So the cattle would have been placed on this paddock last night, and we're getting ready to move them again this morning. They're ready to go. Basically, we're focusing on grazing management on the top third of the plant. And that's the most palatable part of the plant. It's got the highest energy level. When you start looking at nature, the way it works in nature, I think in the United States we've babied our cow herds so bad that they can't make a living for us anymore. And we went the opposite. I mean, these cattle here, they've got to do it. And if they don't, we get rid of them. You got to remember, the cow works for you. You don't work for the cow.
Perfect.
One of the things we've looked at, also you want to look for, is when you go into a herd, look for a cow that's laying off by itself. That's usually a cow that's either, there's something wrong.
Okay.
There's a cow right over here by this tree. We're gonna go look. What's wrong with her? There's nothing wrong with her. She calved.
Oh, okay.
Okay. See, this reel, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. So every time I turn the handle, the reel actually spins 3 times. If I had that untied at the far end, I could roll this up in about probably 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that fast. What you can do as you're going across your paddock, you know, if you get too many posts and you can't carry them all, you just take and lay a pile on the ground. Make sure you leave one sticking in the ground so you can find the pile. And then when you're done, you can just take your four-wheeler and come back and get your posts.
Where do you get those posts?
These posts are the best ones made in the world. They are an O'Brien. Don't go down to your local farm store and get, and I'm all about local. If they try and convince them to carry O'Brien posts, not those crap. They sell these things as big around as your finger. The spike, you can't get them in the ground. We have found the best reel in the world too.
What's that?
Here I am promoting products.
Give it all to
I'm gonna give it up.
Not a paid endorsement.
It is a New Zealand company. Terragate has got the best reel. This is probably about 14 years old. This wire. Folks, polywire, you'll be lucky if it lasts 3 years. And that's because it starts fraying. It starts catching on stuff. And next thing you know, half of your steel filaments in there are broken. And now your conductivity just plummets through the floor. And so, you know, you'll hear people say, well, I tried that polywire, I just got tired of it. Poly braid. Leave away, don't mess with that.
Is that the name brand, Poly Braid?
That's the name of the wire. There's several different manufacturers. Well, I'm telling you, I might as well tell you the best. We get ours from Powerflex.
Okay.
Right here in Missouri. And I've tried them all. This is the best. It's gonna cost you some money, but it's not that much more than the ones that don't work. So I'm gonna buy the one that works. Woo! Yeah! But this is a grazer's eye thing. We don't step off 1.4 acres for 400 head anymore. I used to do that. And now I'm looking at my grass, the tips, making sure that I don't overgraze it. I'm watching the cow's gut, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. And did you all know that when a cow wakes up in the morning, they don't care about you making a living. They don't care about you making a living. They don't care about getting bread. They don't care about getting fat. They only care about one thing. You know what that is?
Eating.
Nope. Breathing to the next day. That's all they care about, is just to breathe to the next day. And so you got to remember that. they'll eat your grass, and they won't pay you anything. And those are the so that's you. That's on you. You got to detect which cows are not doing anything for you. And you got to be the predator. We don't have the lions and leopards like they do in Africa. If we have an animal that doesn't perform, you got to get it out of your herd, because all she's doing is eating grass that a good cow could be eating. She's costing you money.
What do you do with that one?
Those go to the market. We either butcher them as grass-fed hamburger, or if it's a cow that's gotten thin, for whatever reason, we just sell them.
How many cows are there here?
Well, total head in that herd right now is about 390. Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Well, you know, a lot of people say, but Greg, I don't have time to move my cows. It takes too much time.
Yeah.
You got to go get cowboys and round them up and dogs to bite at them. I mean, look at these cattle. They're doing all the work. I just moved the wire. Look how slick they are. Cattle are fat.
How can you tell they're fat?
Right
How
there.
can you tell they've had enough?
Right there. Right there, that bone, the hip bone. Right in front of it. Well, you won't find any in here. It's got an indentation.
No.
Right in front of that hip bone on the back, there will be an indentation sunken in. I call that the death triangle. And if you continue to move it, like right there, that bone.
He's got a little.
That's not a death. It's sunken in just a
You
tiny
can kind of
bit.
see it.
I mean,
No flies.
the flies on the back of the cows, like this cow here, she's got flies.
Yeah.
That's one we bought. She's not a southpaw.
Wow, she's got way more flies than everybody else.
That cow was only brought 60 miles from us, but she wasn't born on this farm. So be careful when you go buy livestock and they're not adapted to your farm.
You said you have always kept cattle. Did you always farm cattle this way, moving them so much?
No, we just got into doing it right several years ago when I was going broke.
Oh.
I was going broke, going the conventional way, and folks, I love the cattle. I love the land. I love the forages, but I was going broke. And I'm like, I've got to change. I've got to do something different, or the bank's gonna own me. And so I had an old guy tell me, what you should really focus on is, especially as a young person, when you're first starting out, is to focus on animals. Make sure that what limited income you have, save it and buy livestock with it. Stay away from metal. If you can afford a tractor and pay cash for it, that's fine, but don't go out and get a loan to buy a tractor starting out. And that's what I didn't do. I first started, I bought a tractor, the equipment, everything. And that's because that's what I was told to do. If you're a farmer, you got to have a tractor. I think too many people go out and buy a brand new truck, a brand new baler, brand new mower, rake, all this stuff, a hay trailer. It just keeps going on and on and on. And then you go, well, where's the cow herd? Well, we got them over here. And you go look, and they've got 15 cows. I'm like, what? Those 15 cows aren't going to service that kind of debt. You've got to have a whole lot more of these than you do equipment. Otherwise, you don't have a chance of making a profit in the cattle business. Yeah.
Why didn't you didn't just give up cattle? You somehow found a different way.
Yeah, and I'll have to give credit to Alan Nation.
Okay.
Alan Nation wrote an article back in 1980, let's see, let me get the year right, 1997. The name of the article was, Do You Have to Own the Land? And the gist of his article was, look, land ties up too much of your equity starting out. Why not go out and just find some land and lease it? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So at the end of his article, he said, your sole purpose in life should not be to own the land, but to control the land. And boy, I tell you what, that one sentence hit me like a brick in the forehead. And I immediately started going around the neighborhoods looking at this land that nobody's doing anything with. There's nobody on that land. You need to go investigate it. And that's what we've done.
Wow.
So I started leasing land the first farm was 1999. And today we've got 16 farms. And we run 1,620 acres, and 4 of those farms we now own. We bought them, we paid for them. And folks, the lease payment is 100% tax deductible.
Ah.
A land payment is not. Only the interest. You can't deduct the principal. If I'd have tried to save up enough money to buy the land that we control today, I never would have got it. We're continually working on these farms. We're continuing to lease new farms, and life is pretty good.
And what do you offer? So they say somebody doesn't have any land, they want to start grazing cows. What do they offer?
I'll give you a range. Our leases range from free. We don't pay them anything.
Yeah. Okay. Keep it mowed for them.
Well, more than that, we're building ponds on these farms. I'll pay for the pond. I'll stock it with fish, stuff like that. Fence. I mean, we put up fence. Brand new, good-looking fence around the perimeter of the farm. They may not even have any fence on the farm. The pastures, probably junk. They're probably taken over with brush. They got a lot of thatch in them. Our highest lease is probably around $25 an acre. But now, if you're going in on a farm that's got a handling facility, it's got good fence on it.
Okay.
It's got good roads leading to it. It's got electricity. The pastures are in excellent shape. You can be prepared to give, well, in Missouri, probably $50 to $100 an acre for it. Justin, these plants were grazed 40 days ago.
Oh.
And what we're looking at is the tips. Make sure the tip of your grass has got a point on it. If you come back and your grass looks like this, and you're grazing that, you're in trouble. That plant is not recovered, and you're grazing it off again, and now it's going to be that long. That ain't good. You want to make sure your plants are fully recovered. You know, when people start grazing plants before they're ready, we call that grazing the roots. You're grazing the roots off your whole farm. And that's because now you're depending on the root to push the grass plant back up. Instead of using the solar collector. See, when you leave a nice solar collector, there's the sun. It's catching that sunlight, and it's growing the plant back with the leaf and the solar panel that you left intact. And over time, your roots get shorter and shorter and shorter, less carbohydrates, less energy stored in your root system. And then if you hit a drought, you are done. No growth, zero. You gotta sell your cows or go buy hay. Justin, this is the kind of cow that we're trying to get. You know, these cows, that cow there is probably about 900 pounds. We started out with a lot bigger cows, and we've pretty much got rid of most of those. They've kind of weaned themselves out of the herd. We like a 900 to 1,000 pound cow. Those cows will winter a lot better. They're not so hard on your pasture when it rains. I mean, if you get a 4-inch rain overnight and you got, I just had a guy email me a couple days ago, and he said he sold one of his cows that weighed 2,000 pounds.
Oh my.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you got a 2,000 pound cow out here in your pasture and you're grazing and it's raining, you are in trouble. That cow is going to compact your soil all the way across your farm. And if you do the math on it, a 2,000 pound cow is going to eat twice as much as a 1,000 pound cow.
Yeah. But
she's only going to give you one calf. I can run 2 of these and I'll have 2 calves to sell. Rip, 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 rip. That's the music to a grazer's ear, because that's that same noise, that rip, 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 is ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. They're putting on weight. They're doing it with a plant that was grown by the sunlight. We didn't have to plant it.
Hear it, guys. Listen. Listen.
We have taken a ruminant animal that was a herbivore that can take a worthless piece of grass that Justin and I, we can eat this until we fall over dead. We can't stay alive on this, you and I.
Yeah.
Those cows can eat this same grass, worthless grass, they call it, whatever, stuff you mow in your yard, goes on the ground. They can eat this and put on a very valuable, healthy protein to feed America. We took that same animal, we put that animal in a feedlot, and we made her a granivore. She's not a herbivore anymore, she's a granivore. So we took her, and she's a fossil fuel machine now. It's ridiculous. We took a solar powered machine and we turned it into a fossil fueled machine. 100 million cattle in feedlot in the United States today. They're up 95, 96, whatever that percentage is, huge. And so we've degraded the landscape. those people that live around those poor feedlots, I feel sorry for them. You can't, your eyes burn when you walk outside. We took them off the landscape. And we put them in these feedlots, and oh, cows are causing degradation and all. Yeah, the way we're raising them we are, but not like this.
No.
Healing the landscape. Cattle were meant to be out in this, not standing. And everybody said, well, they stand in mud that deep in the feedlot. Folks, that's not mud. That's manure. That's why they feed them antibiotics. Every bite full of grain they eat in those feedlots has got antibiotic in it. If they don't, the cattle will die. Oh, and consequently, the antibiotics make them put on weight faster. And then we're feeding that to our children. That's a healthy product. There's no healthier product.
There's hope there.
High beta carotene, very high CLA. I mean, you just go on and on and on.
You remember how I said he moves them 4 times a day? Well, it's Sunday, so they're gonna only move them 3 times a day. We missed the middle move. Now it's the afternoon, evenings of Sunday, and this is their 3rd move. Checking out their water trough. Got the kiddos and Mama. What do you think about that big tractor water trough, guys?
Tractor tire. The tractor tire?
It's an earth-moving tire.
Earth-moving.
Yeah.
Huge earth-moving tractor tire. They seem to really love it. So you pretty much you have these throughout the farm. This one's gravity fed from your lake over there.
Yeah. Every one of our tanks on this farm is gravity fed. We don't use any pumps. When we built the ponds, we just put a pipe in the bottom of the dam. And so as the water fills up, your pipe inside, it goes through that one and it feeds into this tank. And so there's nothing that can really break. I mean, it's just gravity.
Watch out, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
In the wintertime, this is our wintering system.
Okay.
Oh, look, there's a little...
This is or isn't?
It is.
How does it not freeze?
We chop the ice off in the morning.
Okay.
And then the cows keep it open the rest of the day.
Okay.
I mean, you look at that herd coming down here.
They're getting in line.
That's a lot of animals drinking out of a tank. And so if you chop the ice off in the morning, they're bringing warm water out of the lake into that tank. And this tank holds 800 gallons. And so, especially in the wintertime, you know, cows won't drink what they do in the summer. These bigger cows, they're probably drinking around 20 gallons a day. In the wintertime, you're looking at probably more 5 to 8 gallons a day. So you've got to have a pretty good sized tank to handle this many animals when it gets hot. You sure don't want your animals to run out of water.
So you must, since you move them 3-4 times a day, how many days you'll build a lane for them to have access to this?
Or we just start at the tank and build our paddocks away from it. So we're going that direction now.
Back up, everybody.
They're thirsty. We're standing in their way.
We'll get out of the way. Everybody out.
And then as soon as we get everything grazed that direction, we'll start going the opposite direction, away from the wall. Now, when we get over here another 100 yards, we've got another tire tank just like this one.
Okay.
And so they can start drinking off of that one as well.
What do you think about all these cows, Jenna?
Fun.
You think you can move all these cows by yourself?
Yes.
I like that attitude. One day for sure. We're back at the bus, just finished dinner, so tired. The heat in the Missouri, wiping us out. We're gonna try to get to bed tonight, hopefully at a reasonable hour, cleaning up after dinner. Tomorrow, more of Greg Judy, more of the cows. He's also got a sheep operation. We're gonna go see him move the sheep. They move them every day. And is that not enough? It's great, great stuff, great stuff. See you then.